y'all position. We're not going to talk about how many years ago it was. I figured out that, in thinking about self-care and thinking about the way in which I want to carry myself through the world, it was almost a form of protest for me to start bringing my full self to spaces, specifically white spaces. So I would show up to class in my basketball sweats. You know what I mean? I would do things specifically to not try to seem so professional while I could still come across as professional. But I would want to be as comfortable as possible. So do you find yourselves trying to do that here as you're going through a career?
I got you. Because last year I did that. Last year it was like,
My boy was Nike Tech.
yes, every day, bro. Every day it was either Nike Tech, like some sweats, whatever. And I always wore the do-rag.
He always had to do
I
it.
always wore the do-rag. Like I made
actually
sure I always
facts.
wore the do-rag to class, and it wasn't because I was just trying to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be comfortable because this was like one of the first conversations I ever had with Esau that I felt so uncomfortable coming to Quinnipiac.
He was about to transfer.
Like,
Same here. Yeah, no, you told me that
in my
when I
first
met him,
semester,
yeah.
I was gonna leave.
Yeah.
I felt so uncomfortable coming from such a diverse city, and like, bro, even our public schools, like, you'll be lucky if it's 50% white.
Right,
That's a public school.
right.
Like I went to a Catholic school in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
I went to Cardinal Hayes.
Okay.
And it's literally, we had probably about 15, maybe, if that, 20 white kids in the whole school, like the
Wow.
entire school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just coming from that to like a predominantly white institution.
Complete flip.
It's just a whole flip. It's just a whole reality check. And it's like weird to adapt to.
Being like a ball player and everything, like I feel like you almost have like an added layer or like a different level of it, because like you're on a ball team and then there's this stereotype of like black men and like being athletic and then also being like at a PWI. Do you think you face like these like how do you like, I don't know, kind of inhabit your space without like having all these prejudices, like these biases and like ideas of like who you are as a person on you, like or if you dealt with that at all?
I would say it helps having like the group of guys around me that I do, you know what I mean? Like
It's like a
that
family.
like family aspect, that team aspect is so like huge when you're at like an institution. Just because you have those people around you that you could like throw things off of, you know what I mean? Like bounce ideas off of or like talk to about certain things.
I don't know about y'all, but after George Floyd died, I was getting so many texts from just like white people that I haven't talked to in a minute.
Yeah.
Like especially from my high
Checking
school,
on
just
you.
like like some of it phony, some of it real, but like they're just like, yo, like I'm sorry, like I'm sorry if I ever offended you in the past, da da da. I'm sorry this is all going on. Just know that I'm there for you. I'm here for you and all that. Some of it was phony. Some of it I could tell was real, but it's just like, I don't know. It was really just crazy. It was really just crazy to me how just like it takes something like George Floyd dying for people to come out and speak out against racism. Like I've never seen so many white people speak out against racism until then.
The energy is definitely different.
This was the first time I saw like my black friends, even some of my white friends, call each other out. They're like, "Yo, if you don't even like, you don't necessarily have to protest it. You can protest it whatever way you want. But if you don't acknowledge this, not as like a race thing, but this is just wrong."
Right. It's a human thing.
Yeah, it's
wrong.
like, and people didn't understand that. Like,
And if you stay silent, you will get called out.
I had a
Yeah,
group
like-
chat break up
Yes.
because of it.
yeah,
Like-
Wow.
Get in the whole dispute, two people get in a whole dispute and the group chat just fall apart.
Yeah.
Now we don't even talk no more. Like none of us.
That's crazy. Yeah, man. I think with George Floyd, the length of the video,
yeah,
like, and I don't know if any of y'all saw Dave Chappelle's 8:46,
Yeah.
like 8 minutes and 46 seconds, right? Like, to watch something that drawn out, knowing and gripping fear, right? Like
what's going on?
this racialized terror that we have to go through watching this video, the length of time that it took and nothing happening, right? People pleading with the officers that were standing around, nothing happening, right? Time and time again. So like, I think that had something to do with it. The pandemic definitely had something to do with
I
it,
think 100% was a pandemic.
for sure. But
'Cause to
right
be honest,
now,
I think it just made it a trend.
It kind of gave us, it's sad to say, but it kind of gave people something to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People were going
like,
to protest for the fact that it was
like
protest.
today, I get to go outside to protest.
People were
Like,
protesting, man. Let's go.
like
Yeah.
well, here's the thing. For me, I was thinking about it in terms of I could die anyway. So what does coronavirus matter?
Yeah, that was weird too.
You know, I was like, I could die at any point when I step outside of my house senselessly by police. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't I put myself in danger, in health danger at a protest? Try to find a balance
Yeah.
for yourselves where you can keep yourself sane, but also know that you can't ever step out of the ring. Right?
But do you think people are allowed not to even be able to step into the ring? You don't think people can like actively take the choice of not wanting to be like a part of like?
There's all different ways you can fight. Not everybody's going to be on the front line. Not everybody's going to be on the front line. I don't care if you do a social media post. I don't care if you read a book, right? I don't care if you listen to a podcast. Educate yourself in some way. Damn sure vote, right? Do the things that matter so we can better ourselves as human beings, right? As we're trying to live in this place called America.